everybody, and welcome to Skateboard Nation. Tonight, I have an old friend, CAINE GAYLE, as my guest. CAINE has traveled around the world skateboarding, won some contests, street skating back in the 90s, and an amazing career. Honestly, 9 years? About 9 years, right?
Maybe 10-ish, yeah,
10,
something like that.
10 years, 10 years of being competitive, going through all the injuries, and you're always going for big stuff. So to have a 10-year career, jumping down the stairs as many times as you did, it's pretty amazing, honestly. But I'm super stoked that you're here. And but before we get started, I would like to thank everybody out there in YouTube land, and thank you for being here. Anyway, let me get going here. So, CAINE, let's talk about skating and when you first started. How about were you born in Florida?
Yeah, Jacksonville.
In Jacksonville. Okay.
In the city, in Jacksonville. Moved to the beach a few years after, I guess.
Okay, but you were still pretty young.
Oh yeah.
At that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, born in 73.
73. Okay, so that's hey, don't ask me when I was born, all right?
Born in 73, moved to the beach, probably late 70s, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I remember, was that the house that I went and first met you? Or after I knew you?
Lived somewhere before that, but the house that you had came and met my mom was where I lived at the majority of the time, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was just going to say, that seemed like it was right on the beach, or pretty close to it.
6 or 7 blocks.
Yeah, that's close to the beach.
Pretty close.
Okay, so did you play sports, any other sports before you started skateboarding, or how did we get into skateboarding? I mean, Florida wasn't like...
I mean, I surfed a lot when I was little, and you should just skateboard to the beach. Florida, the waves aren't that big. So
yeah.
Eventually, you skateboard more than surf.
Okay.
I still surfed for a while, but just got to where I skated a lot more than surfing.
You surfing now?
I haven't surfed in ages.
Ages.
It's been a while. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I haven't skateboarded in ages either, so.
Yeah, well.
It's about the same.
Yeah, but you're doing a lot of other physical things now.
Yeah, I stay active, for sure. I stay active. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, you seem like you're still pretty good in shape, huh?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Right on. Okay, so grew up in Jacksonville. All right. Do you remember what got you into skateboarding? Was it somebody, neighbor, friend?
I mean, just skating around for like transportation. I don't think kids do that nowadays.
Yeah.
Like maybe some do, but not like we did when we were growing up. You skateboard to school so you don't have to walk.
Yeah.
Ride your bike. That more often than, after a while you just learn how to ollie and jump upstairs and downstairs, and like the evolution of skateboarding at that point in the 80s was different. Jump ramps, like I grew up in a jump ramp era.
Right.
Yeah,
I remember.
Backyard ramps, little mini ramps, or if someone built a vert ramp was like unheard of, but there was a few around.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot more now down there in Florida.
Yeah. There's probably so much more stuff to skateboard there now than when I grew up, for sure. Definitely.
So you mentioned jump ramps. Do you remember your first board? What you're riding?
My very first skateboard, I believe, was a Sims Kamikaze.
Really? Wasn't that Lester's board? Was it Lester?
No, it was
just a Kamikaze.
It was just a Kamikaze.
Just a Kamikaze. Yeah. That's right.
Sims Kamikaze with Going Pro trucks.
Wow.
Probably OJ wheels, maybe.
Wow.
I think. Okay. I think that's. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Yeah. But it was huge. It's like just so much more to ride on. That was like my first setup. You got your stopper rails, like.
You had the whole thing going.
I don't even know if they even make stoppers and rails anymore.
Yeah. No, they do. They still make them.
Oh man.
Actually, they're really popular still.
Yeah, I mean that thing was awesome. That was super cool. And
rattle a lot. That thing.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Eventually, you take the tail skid off, and then you take the rails off after a while. And But yeah, oh man, that was ages ago. Yeah. Rode that thing everywhere, and there's a gigantic skate park in Jacksonville. It's still there, Kona.
Yeah. They just had their 35th anniversary, 40th?
No,
40th anniversary.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I skated there when I was
You still have your car?
teenager.
Skate car?
No, definitely not. No. I think I have my Blockbuster card from Florida. Maybe somewhere in my garage somewhere.
Just out of curiosity, back then, are you talking to any of the guys that you used to skate with? Like, I know you still talk to Clyde.
Talk to Clyde every now and then.
Yeah.
I talk to Neil a lot more than anyone that I've grown up with, probably.
Which Neil?
Neil Mims.
Neil Mims.
He still lives here. He has like a skate camp.
Yeah.
Teaches kids. Yeah, it's freaking awesome. I still talk to him. The other day, where I work at in Solana Beach, there's a skate park, and I drove by looking at something, and I was like, "Oh no way! Like skate park right here." And I sent him a message. I'm like, "Yo, dude, like there's a skate park right by my work." And he's like, "Oh, I was just there this morning." I'm like, "Oh." So that's kind of cool.
I just saw him, 3 weeks ago at the Gravity Games. He was announcing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Nice.
he was announcing.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
they still have Gravity Games?
they just brought it back.
Oh.
Yeah, they had the first one, like I said, 3 weeks ago. We went and filmed it and hung out down there.
Yeah.
Christian Soy has a lot to do with
that's cool.
help promoting it, but Andy McDonald, I mean, everybody was there.
Nice.
It was
That's cool.
starstruck for me, like how many pros were there that were really helping out.
Yeah, that was the Gravity Games and X Games were in the beginning together.
Right.
So it was like that was the competing for ESPN. I remember that.
Yeah. Well,
I skated the first. Was it the one in? I think it was in Rhode Island. Was it Rhode Island?
Yeah.
The first one. I skated in that one.
Yeah.
It was.
I don't remember what place I got.
That old fort.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember it was. I think, like the weekend before 9/11.
Oh, is that right? Wow.
I think if it's the same weekend, I'm pretty sure that was the same one.
Well, we all know that's September 11th, so.
If it was that weekend, yeah.
September 4th.
I think it was. I think that was the Gravity Games, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just kicking back up again. They're putting
cool.
some money back out into it, and I think the next one is either in LA or San Francisco. I can't remember, but they're having 3 of them testing it again. So I guess we'll see how that goes. But this wasn't really, it was more of a jam than it was a contest. So they're just bringing it back slowly to get the name back out.
So are they doing like park, street,
no, this thing was
street? How, like, is it just a?
Well, this was at Encinitas.
Yeah, so they used some of the Encinitas skate park and a big vert ramp.
Yeah, and they basically just did it and kind of reintroduction, like, they had the Gravity Games name up, and then it was more of like a jam session where all the people came. I have no idea. They might have paid the pros to come show up. I really don't know. But
that's cool.
Yeah, it was a good event. A lot of people there. So anyway, so hopefully they bring it back, and because I don't know, ESPN just got sold out, and Tony Hawk bought the rights to it all, and that's where he's going. I think that's where he's going with Vert Alert or Vert Attack. Yeah,
he bought the X Games.
Yeah, he bought that. So
wow,
that's cool. Great.
Nice.
Putting some money back into the thing, and I know he's gonna do that thing right.
Change the format, make it better.
Yeah, he's just gonna make it better for skaters, I think.
Cool. Okay.
So anyway, it was good to see. So anyway, we're in Jacksonville. We're skating along. We're getting into some amateur contest. Sponsorship yet? Shop sponsorship?
There was a surf shop that I used to ride for. Yeah. My friend Mike Mahaley, he worked there. This guy Dan Brooks owned it. Sunrise Surf Shop.
Sunrise.
It's still there.
Yeah,
it's still in the same exact spot. I think it's off Beach Boulevard. It's Jacksonville Beach.
35 years ago or so? 35 years, man.
Late 80s, early 90s.
Good for Dan.
Yeah, for sure. It's been there forever. Dan used to help me out, like, free t-shirts, stickers, the stuff that board shop sponsors give you. Give you a good deal on boards and stuff. That was like my first, I guess, real sponsor.
That's where you met Mike
Yeah.
Haley.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. He worked behind the counter.
Yeah, he was like, surfing and worked at the shop.
Yeah, wow.
Yep.
I don't know what happened to Mike. I lost complete.
He lives in Encinitas.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I don't know. I have no idea what he does, like as far as like job wise, but he lives in Encinitas. I talk to him every now and then, like random texts, like happy birthday, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And like
kind of like us.
I work near you. Come over and see me.
He's not
for the longest time. I mean, it's not that far, but like working in La Jolla, it's like he lives in Encinitas. So I'm like, dude, come see me.
Oh, he works in La Jolla.
No, I used to.
Oh, I
used to.
Okay.
But now I'm like creeping closer to him. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was the first person that I came to California with. Actually, it was before you.
Yeah.
We flew. One of his friends. I was just talking about this the other day. One of his friends had a plane ticket and couldn't go. Was like, hey, do you want to go to California with me? I was like, really? Like, of course I do. This was like late '80s, probably. I don't remember what year it was, but I was still
15?
I was still in high school. Yeah,
okay.
14 or 15. We flew out here. No ID, just ticket here. Hop on a plane.
Yeah.
Flew out here. I stayed at. He was staying with someone, and I stayed. Do you know Tom Eberly?
Yeah.
Make surfboards.
Yeah.
I stayed at his surf surf shack, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Like his place where he built surfboards, and I stayed in like the upstairs room or whatever. That was like my spot. Right, it's right down the street from, or at least it was down the street from the Encinitas YMCA.
Okay. Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Shannon Boards. There was another place that was up there too that did a lot of boards. But anyway, I don't know if he was shaping for that or not, but
yeah.
Anyway,
that was like my first trip, and then, come back, and I was like, wow, that's awesome. Like first trip to the West Coast, that was pretty cool. And then,
how long were you out here for?
I think we were like 4 days. Maybe.
Okay,
like, not. It wasn't a big trip. Like let's say a week tops.
Yeah,
it wasn't that much.
During the summertime?
I don't remember what time of the year it was.
Was the weather nice?
It was, yeah.
Okay.
You know what? No, it was, well, for me, it was cold. I was like, I got here and I was like, oh my God, I need sweatshirts and pants. It was probably the summer, honestly, because I'm used to humidity from Florida. Right. So when I got here, I was like, dude, it's cold out here. And they're like, what's wrong with you?
Because your blood was so thin from being from Florida.
Oh, it was so, I remember.
Did it get cloudy? Was it cloudy like? I'm trying to think if you had June gloom at that time. You know how that
I don't think so. I think it was like
just
beautiful
regular day
weather. Yeah, but I remember it was like, to me it was chilly. So like 75 great weather was like freezing to me at the time. So I was like, dude, Mike, you gotta give me a sweatshirt or something. Like, this is not good. Yeah, it was pretty funny. They were laughing at me. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's good. Mm-hmm. Okay, so all right, what was your local park back then?
We should just go to Kona. That was it.
Guys all skated Kona. Because Kona just had a snake run. So they had the half pipe.
I think all the concrete stuff has been the same for.
Yeah, since
they had the big bowl with the tombstone, the snake run that ran behind it, snake pit, the freestyle area. There was 2 vert ramps, a big fiberglass one, and this little smaller like. No flat bottom.
Right, no flat bottom.
Vert ramp. It was like a 8-foot ramp.
Okay.
So you drop in and like boom, you're on the wall immediately. Yeah. There was that, and then at the very top, there was just like a flat concrete area that you just could hang out with.
How far was that?
It.
How far was that from your house?
So I lived at the beach, so it would take about a 45-minute bus ride.
Okay.
It was like you hop on one bus route to go north, and then bus ride west.
Okay.
And you got dropped off. Like there was a mall right there. You just get dropped off, and then you skate probably 5 minutes down the road to get there.
It's so funny to hear how many people used to have to take buses everywhere.
Oh, Dude,
You know, especially when we were
cost you?
especially when we were young.
I think the bus to get to Kona was $1.25.
Yeah,
Totally.
for 45 minutes.
Yeah. Me.
Switching.
Sometimes I go by myself and just go skate or meet someone there. Sometimes me and Neil would hop on the bus together right out there. But I mean, yeah, it was only like $1.25. You know, you take $5 for lunch, eat all day, a couple hot dogs, sodas, like you're good, and then enough to get home on the bus ride. Yeah.
Did you have to pay to get into the park or what? Did you?
Yeah, I don't remember how much it was back then, but like
probably $3 for
like,
2 hours.
I think you could do like I think Kona had like, you know, your year pass or whatever.
Okay.
You know, you buy a membership and then pay as you go, probably, or month pass or something. I can't remember, but it wasn't that cheap. I mean, it wasn't that expensive.
Yeah.
It was relatively not that much, you know. But I mean, it didn't go there all the time, but you know, as much as could.
Yeah.
So it was fun. Yeah.
So when did you start getting competitive? When did you start like?
I think like the late, probably the. I don't know, it's better than everybody.
You're humble, but...
my first competition was in the Jacksonville Coliseum. They had some, God, what was it called? Man, this was probably, had to be at least 80, I want to say maybe 87,
okay.
88.
Okay.
What was the name of it?
Yeah.
It was a competition. They just had like a bunch of, you know, jump ramps, flat, like, I was about to say flat bar, but like, you know, 2x4s with PVC coping on it.
Yeah.
Like just a big slider bar.
Yeah.
Quarter pipes, like some kind of bank ramps and stuff. You know, we all skated in it. Me, Clyde, Neil, like everyone in Jacksonville. It was a big competition. I got first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know where the video would be. My dad might have it, but
did you say Clyde was still there?
Yeah.
Clyde.
Yeah. Neil was there. Okay. Clyde was there. Like,
Robert Camp.
Camp, Bear. There was a handful of other guys. I can't put anyone off to mind, but yeah, we all skated in it. Like you just enter like $25 to enter. You know, I have no idea.
$25 to enter. That's
I have no idea who judged.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even remember that, but I just remember like at the end they're calling off names. I'm like, man, dude, I didn't do good. But I remember I didn't fall, so I was like, you know, I had a run where I didn't fall. I did a bunch of tricks, you know, like, you know, 360 off the jump ramp, and you know, method air, and indie air, like all kinds of stuff. And it kept getting down to the lower numbers. I was like, oh man, I didn't do good at all.
Yeah.
Like they called me off at first. I was like, oh my God. I remember my mom was freaking out. She was like, going crazy. Yeah, it was cool. I think my first 3 amateur competitions I got first place in. There was a couple across town, like in Orange Park was one. Clyde was at that one. Neil was at that one. We all anytime there was something, we all went to it. You know? And that was probably like late 80s, maybe like 89, creeping around to 90 maybe.
Yeah.
And then I think it was Basel.
Yeah.
Possibly. Yeah. Florida Amateur Skate League.
Yeah.
They had that. One of the first competitions was at the Daytona Skate Park. What was it called? Stonehenge?
Yeah.
Stonehenge, Daytona?
I think so, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's where I met Dave Duran.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember I was like, dude, who is this dude? I was like, dude, he was doing some stuff that I hadn't thought of yet.
Yeah, right.
You know, some like stuff you see, like I don't know if it was, we had seen some of the 8th Street videos that they came out around that time, but he was doing some of that stuff and he was sponsored by 8th Street. And I was like, no way, like, holy cow. Yeah. And then that circled into being introduced to you, and the rest is history, I guess.
Yeah, that was probably about 89 or 90.
I think so.
About it, yeah, 89 or 90.
Yeah.
So I remember getting sponsor me tapes from you.
Ooh, I wish I could find those.
I know. I wish I kept.
That'd be the coolest. Oh man,
I had so many.
I have no idea where that would even be at all.
I know you guys did some fun editing. You know, you guys had
Dude,
some really good.
once, like,
I'm not sure I understand.
once, I think I had made I think I made Sponsor Me tapes before I met Dave.
Huh.
And I don't even remember who I sent them to, but like, it's weird. Like nowadays, totally different.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
No,
Like,
yes.
it's like who you meet, and it just things fall into place. You know,
Yeah.
like coming from Jacksonville Beach, Florida, like, you know, you're a nobody
Yeah.
on a blip of nothingness. So trying to figure out, okay, how do I attempt to maybe get something for free, or
Yeah, get sponsored.
You know, who even knows
Yeah.
where the direction it would go at that point.
I think
Making skateboard tapes,
Yeah.
you know, VHS tapes, like 2 VHS tapes, like,
Yeah.
all right, wait, pause, record. Okay, wait, stop. Okay, and then I don't even remember how, but we got something to put music to it,
Yeah.
like somehow. I don't even remember how we did it, but it was like we put like songs to it. I think my first Sponsor Me tape had like The Cult,
Yeah.
you know. So,
Nice.
yeah. Oh my God.
Now it's all
I can
Instagram.
I can
Put it
picture.
on
I can.
Instagram.
It's crazy. Like talking about it, I can
Yeah.
picture in my mind, like in my old, like my bedroom, like
Yeah.
like I gotta
How
get
long was the
gotta
tape?
get this
Yeah.
perfect. Sponsor Me tape back then. I mean,
3 minutes, 2 to 3
maybe
minutes.
3
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, especially like with the editing being horrible.
Yeah.
You know.
How long did it take you to get?
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. I mean, I don't even. I mean, just having like the VHS, somehow getting all your footage onto one tape,
Yeah.
you know, and tricks from like a VHS recorder. You know,
Yeah.
my friend John D that I went to high school with, he was a year older than me. He had a VHS recorder. So you put like literally a VHS tape in the thing,
Yeah.
and it looked like a movie camera.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, record that, and you know, we would edit together, and that was crazy. Oh my God, that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sent you one of my first videotapes because I had met Dave, and Dave's like, "I got you."
Yeah.
You know, we sent it out. So
No, it's funny. I have a whole bunch of tapes at my house.
oh man,
You know, and I have 2 people I really want to find their Sponsor Me tapes because they were absolute comedy. Okay. One was Jamie Thomas.
Oh heck yeah!
Okay. I have Jamie Thomas's, and I have a Sponsor Me tape from Steve-O Glover. I'm Steve-O. You know. Yeah. Because I met him first time was at Surf Expo, and he
The
came down
ASR
there
trade
'cause-
shows?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Well, it's Surf Expo. It's
Okay,
just
wait.
like ASR, but it's
Florida?
in Florida.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and
Dan Brooks, the guy that owned the surf shop,
yeah,
took me down
that's
there
it.
to one of the surf expos. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
dude, no way, this is cool.
Yeah.
Like all the surf shops and
Oh,
skate stuff down there at that time. Yeah,
yeah.
nice.
But Steve-O gave me his Sponsor Me tape, the first one, and then he was nobody. He was just a kid walking through there like, hey, can you watch this right now?
Oh my God.
And I remember everybody in the booth was like, they just cleared out. They were like, that is idiot. You know, it's not like idiot, but like
Yeah.
it was just kid, you know. And anyway, I watched it and I was just told, I just remember like, dude, you're either going to be dead or you're going to be the biggest star ever.
Oh my gosh.
And
That's so awesome.
And then I gave it to Tommy Cadell.
I was just about to say, like, I met Steve-O through Tommy and Danny,
Yeah.
you know, late mid 90s. But the other day, he has like a podcast, and one of the guys, this UFC guy that Patty the Batty,
Mhm.
he's one of the investors in the gym that I work for. That he's really
right.
good friends with my friend that owns the gym that I trained his whole fight career. They're like good buddies. So Steve-O came by the gym, and I was like, oh, dude, I haven't seen this guy in 15 years. And I was like, so we were kind of like shooting it up a little bit. It was kind of cool. I haven't seen him in forever.
Yeah.
That's cool.
He's another Florida boy.
Steve-O's from Florida?
Yeah.
What part?
I don't know. Florida.
I didn't even know.
Yeah, a little place down there. Florida's not that big.
You start driving top to bottom. It's big.
Hey, for me, anything past Oceanside is LA. Okay, so
I got you.
Florida.
I
you know what I'm saying?
I never moved
You
north
know?
of Oceanside, so
Yeah.
I know what you're talking
So,
about. Absolutely.
you know, as a San Diego guy, anything past Oceanside is Los Angeles.
Absolutely.
You know, but you know,
That's so cool.
That's the way I am. But anyway, so question about Florida, since there is, do you remember any good hurricanes that blew through while you're living there? Was that sketchy?
I think it was the really big one, Hurricane Dora.
Oh, was it
Hurricane Dora?
That just reminded me.
I think it was because my mom's the guy that my mom married after her and my dad separated. His name was David Dorr, and I remember like, dude, your last name's the Hurricane. That's kind of crazy. Like, just like it was really weird. But I think that was a huge one that was just devastated a lot. It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, because that kind of leads me into another little story, which is that time that I came down to pick you guys up to go to Houston for the finals.
I remember that.
And
we couldn't go home because the hurricane was coming up. So we're like,
what do you want to do?
Let's drive to the West Coast from Houston, which is not, you think like Texas is in the...
You just threw it up in the air, let's drive to the West Coast instead of going home. You did that with him.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Yeah, I totally remember that because it's weird because at the time you're like, oh, we're in Texas, but we're at the other side of Texas. So we had to go all the way through Texas. So the drive was like, oh my God, this is 2 days. I don't think I'd ever driven that far ever.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who was that? That was me, you, Dave, and
Dave
Bear.
Duran.
Dave Duran, Bear Hughes.
Yeah. Robert.
Was it Robert too?
Camp
was it four
was
of
there.
us?
And Clyde. We had like 7 guys in that car, 6 guys in
Man.
Yeah. So I picked you up in my truck. And everybody had sleeping bags and stuff in the back of the truck.
Oh my gosh.
I had a shell on it, okay?
Yeah.
Back then it was still legal to do. But yeah.
Stuff that we could get away with back then.
But I just remember, like, I had no idea about hurricanes. And after the competition, we were like, everybody was like, Dave, we can't go. We can't go back to Florida. There's a hurricane. They won't allow you.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, what do we do?
You're like, let's drive to the West Coast.
I know. I'm like, you guys want to go to California? Mm-hmm. Call your parents. Find out if it's cool. And
we stayed.
And actually,
where did we stay at?
Where? When we were here?
Yes.
My brother's house.
Where is that? I was trying to think of that.
It's in Bonita.
It's in Bonita?
Yeah.
I thought for some reason it was near San Pasqual High School. Escondido. I thought it was for some reason. I don't know why, but I remember thinking like, oh, it's in Escondido.
Yeah.
I don't know why that, but I was like, I totally remember that trip.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And actually that drive was 24 straight hours nonstop from the time we left to the time we got to the beach.
Yeah.
So from Houston to San Diego, California is 24 hours driving.
Did you ever get a pee break?
Yeah, of course, man. We had to.
We're all over the place for sure.
Yeah, man. We stopped here and there to get food, drink. I had to have Coke because I was.
We were all too young to drive. Though.
Yeah,
not even close.
You guys are all sleeping in the back.
Oh my gosh! Oh, that was so awesome.
Yeah. And
that was the trip where we met Mike Ternansky. I met him for the first time. Didn't we meet?
Not on that trip. No.
When?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Are you sure?
Actually, maybe you did. No. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I think you did. I think we ran into him. I think we did go there. That was up to Poway on one of the days. We were there for like we stayed for a week.
We went for a week, and I remember it was when Plan B had. I think Plan B maybe had just started, and they had the mini ramp in the back.
In the Poway, the back of the ramp. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we went there and skated that ramp, and I remember. I think that was that same trip. That was the first time I ever met Mike Ternansky.
Yeah, because I was trying to get you guys out in front of all the cameras and met up with Transworld people, whoever I could, and get everybody introduced to all the people that I knew.
Yeah, that was
at that
awesome.
time. So we were buzzing around all over the place.
Yeah,
I know. You said it was a long drive. I remember driving from Ocean City to Baltimore 3 hours, then from pick up Jameel. We had Jameel too.
Yes.
And then I drove from there all the way down to DeLand, Florida, after Jacksonville to DeLand to pick up David.
That's where Dave was, DeLand.
And then got him. And then I made it, remember we made it all the way to Slidell, Louisiana. My truck broke. My transmission burned up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And
then, that was the year that the NSA amateur finals were in Texas.
Yeah. That's what we did.
That was 777.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that was 777.
Because I was thinking, like, I remember, was it the year before that was when the finals were in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yep.
NSA amateur finals.
Yes.
So there
was H Street.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because I remember.
Because I went to that too.
You gave me boards then, and I think me and Dave were skating, and I think I qualified to go to the finals from the NSA amateur contest in North Carolina.
Yeah.
My dad drove me to all those.
Yeah.
I qualified there, and I made it to the finals. And I remember getting the finals, and I was like, I am so far out of my place. Like well, at the time, Eric Costin.
Yeah.
Who else? Moses Itkinen. I became great friends with them later in life, but if I saw a piece of paper with everyone's name, it'd be like, oh my gosh. But I remember thinking, like, you know,
this is who I'm skating
Costin rode for 8th Street at the time, and I was like, dude, I nowhere near the caliber of all these guys.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Yeah, but you just skated different though, that's all. I would say the caliber there, like, I don't know if Costin could jump down those kind of stairs and everything you did. Costin's more technical. I mean, he did jump down some good rails though.
I just remember thinking, like, seeing certain things back then, and I was like, just my eyes opened differently to certain tricks, like, you know, seeing him, like, he nose once down this ledge rail thing, and I was like, dude, no way. I think I tried it, like, later on down after the contest was over, just like, I wonder if I could do that.
Yeah.
You know, like, just seeing those guys, like, doing different stuff, like, it was totally different. But then the next year, which was Texas, that's when we all went. I remember that because it was weird because I didn't do good. I don't know what place I got. I think I did horrible. But I remember it was so damn hot in Texas. I think I passed out from just like tired and woke up and I was like, oh my God, it's my run. Like, I gotta go. And I attempted to do whatever. It didn't work out though. I don't remember how any of us did, if Dave did good or any of that stuff.
Yeah, you know, before that, like the 777, man, we were winning. It was like 1, 2, 3 in every contest on the East Coast back then. It was insane. I remember getting all the magazines and just looking at it. And that's why, of course.
You still have some of that stuff?
I do.
Oh my God, no way.
And I should have brought you some stickers, man. I got boatload boxes.
Oh man, no way.
I do. Oh. But yeah, that's when you guys all got handpicked on that one weekend when I received 5 phone calls from 5 of my guys saying, hey, Dave, sorry, man, I can't skate for you anymore because I'm going to go to the industries and skate, and they're going to pay me $2,500 a month. And I was like, well, shit, man, I can't say anything about that. Good luck.
Yeah.
And super happy for you.
I spoke to, well, not I spoke, but like through messaging to Donger not that long ago.
To who?
Kian Liu.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like we just communicated randomly, and I was like, "What's up, man?" Like I haven't seen him in ages.
Yeah.
You know, he still lives in San Diego. So
yeah, he's here. I'm trying to get him to come in here.
Oh, that's cool.
And do this.
Heck yeah.
You know, he's like, oh yeah, Dave, I'm like really busy. And then I see him out surfing and, you know, like, all right, dog.
Life busy.
But yeah. Well, I know. It's just like you. You're busy too. I mean, everybody's busy. And especially right now with the holidays and everything, you know, I'm calling people like, hey, come on in. You ready? You know, got the show already done. It's like, sure, but when? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm taking off. I'll be back in 2 weeks. I'm like, okay, I'll call you in 2 weeks, you know. But, and I do appreciate you coming in.
No, absolutely.
You know, I just think that
it's great to see you. I haven't seen you in years, so.
Yeah. Well, I know, man. That's just what's so amazing. And like, you know, when you haven't seen Donger forever, you know, I haven't seen Donger forever either, other than on Facebook, you know.
Yeah.
And
he still looks the same.
He looks
like identical.
I think he got younger.
Like for sure, absolutely. Yeah. Definitely.
Dogger's just he's a special person, man. There's no question about it. So anyway, but are you still? Were you ever? How good of friends were you with Reynolds, Andrew? You guys talk? Or is he...
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he lives so far south Florida, though. He lived in, I think, Clearwater, which was way down there. I mean, I was way more friends with Dave. Like, on my mom's side, my aunt lived in DeLand. So it wasn't that I was used to driving down there for like the holidays and stuff. So I knew, like, I think Dave lived literally like 2 miles from my aunt's house, like around the corner. So me and Dave were way better friends. You know, we knew Andrew, skating against him in all the contests in Florida and stuff. But I never went down and like stayed with him and skated, like, you know.
I mean, you know, he's a couple years younger than you too. Is he? Maybe
probably
2 or 3 years.
Yeah,
I remember.
Probably. I remember he was really little.
Yeah.
When I was probably little too, but he seemed like he was like
he was really little,
younger than we were.
Yeah.
Me and Dave. I think me and Dave were on the same age, but Andrew was probably 3 or 4 years younger, maybe.
Yeah.
Because we were skating in the competitions. Like I remember thinking, like, wow, this, like, he's young. Like seeing him. You know, I mean, we were teenagers, but like he looked like he was a lot younger.
I think you were like probably 15 or 16, and he was probably 11 or 12.
Probably.
But I remember I was going to get him on 777, but I was just like, I just can't afford to do it. I want to put him on.
Man.
He's like, I'd have to drop like somebody to do it. And I just didn't, you know, I was just like, I'll just wait and see what happens. But anyway, Yeah,
even like when I moved here and I know that he lived in like Huntington and stuff, like I just never, our circle of guys that I skated with, like they just didn't ever run into each other. Like I would see him occasionally at contests, but not nowhere near like I did back.
Who did you tell me about some tours? Like you toured everywhere. You won contests. You did well in the X Games.
A couple times.
Yeah, you won a couple. Then you won a couple international contests too?
Yeah, like there was
I'm trying to think.
Here's a funny one.
Okay.
They had an X Games in Japan.
Okay. Oh, it's Japan.
Not like, well, I say X Games, but not like, I don't think ESPN covered it.
Yeah.
But it was called X Games.
Okay.
And it was like I think me and Neil went.
Okay. And Neil was riding, you guys were riding for DC at that time?
I don't remember if I might have ridden. I think I might have been on.
Or was it?
I think I was on Prime.
Oh, okay, Prime.
When I went to that one, I was either on Prime or Plan B.
Okay.
And DC.
Okay.
I don't remember who Neil rode for at the time, but we went there, and it was like a street course, like, but not like it is nowadays. Like, you know, there's a few like handrails, something down a long embankment. Like the old X Games always had a gigantic roll in with a rail down it.
Okay.
So I remember that was there, and there was like a jumper and some ledges and banks and stuff. Omar Hassan was there. Sean White.
Okay. Big names.
Weird story though. Like, I was the only let's say street skater that placed in the top 5.
Okay.
So I remember skating, doing well, grinded the rail, kick flip over this, backslide flip that. Like, I'm thinking, in my mind, I won.
Okay.
No. So
you didn't throw a 540 in there.
No, I think I might have done like one, like, okay, I can skate transition, like, you know, like I can jump over that massive jumper. That's not hard. I grew up skating transition.
Yeah.
That's the weird part. Like, most of us, like Clyde talked about this the other day when he did an interview, like, we grew up skating transition, like vert ramps. I just would say I skate everything. Not like I'm a particular street skater or vert skater, but I could skate everything. But at that competition, you know, everyone did their runs, and I'm thinking, cool, like I won. It got down like dink, dink, dink. Shaun White got third. So I was like, okay, yeah, for sure. Like I beat him. So there's only like 2 names left, me and Omar Hassan. They called my name second. And I was like, wow, like, all right, cool. Like right on. And the award ceremony was later.
Yeah.
And they called Omar first. And I was just thinking like, how did you beat me? Like you fell and you did a bunch of like jump airs. Like I don't remember exactly what his run was, but I remember thinking at the time, like, how'd you beat me? You know?
Yeah.
And so when they had the award ceremony, I didn't show up. I was like, yeah, I'm good. Like I showed up like after and they were like, why didn't you show up? I was like, for what? Like I got second. I got like whatever. Like, you know, where's my check? But at the time, it was like you just got, I think, like cash in an envelope.
Yeah,
it was different. It wasn't like some competition where you get like a check or whatever. Yeah. But I remember thinking like they were so like whoever put the contest on were so mad at me for not showing up for the award ceremony. Yeah. To stand up on the podium at second. Like, well, I was like, no, why? Yeah. You know, even like seeing Omar later, like, I mean, we're friends and like, I've known him forever, but he's like, oh man, I'm like, yeah, whatever, dude, you didn't beat me. Like, I think, like, I probably talk shit a little bit for sure. And, you know, and he's like, oh,
Cain,
like,
I've never known you to talk shit, man.
Not much. You know, I definitely probably, the older I got, like, you know, probably a little bit, but.
Yeah. No, I think you did a lot more when you were younger.
Maybe.
Yeah. You kept everybody on their
man.
You were the guy that kept everybody on their toes.
Really? God,
I totally remember that.
Oh my God. That's so crazy.
But anyway, for Japan, that's like, I'd say it's kind of disrespectful.
Probably.
In their culture.
If I could go back, like, absolutely. And I've been to Japan a handful of times. I won another competition in Japan and went to the ceremony and whatnot.
Okay. You weren't feeling good in that first one. That's all. Yeah. Let's just make that.
I was a little cranky, probably for sure. Like bad attitude for sure.
You weren't feeling good.
My attitude definitely got the best of me at a handful of things at that time. But yeah.
You know what? You joined the club. You joined the club of all the guys who've gotten ripped off as a skater. Yeah. And you know what? That list is long. Okay, that's all there is to it.
Oh man!
I saw Tony Mag win a contest. I'm not going to say anything, but Tony Mag, hands down, won a contest. The other guy fell every time, and he won. And it was all because you know the people wanted him to win and not Tony. So and I can say that happened to me 4 times, where I should have won a contest But back then it was more political, even more political.
I can see that.
Because back then, you know, the guys with the sponsoring with the money would say, hey, we want him to win. And tell the judges that. And even though their guy fell in every run and I never fell once and did more tricks, I still got second.
I can see that.
But anyway,
I can see that.
And I even know one of Kevin Moore had that same experience too. And he was in here telling the story about it. Like, yeah, man, I won the contest and one person came up and said, no, this person won it. And that's who they called.
Man.
Yeah. So anyway, it's just, So, you know, you can join the ranks of all the guys who've got ripped off. And I know any of the pros who watch the show who can all say, like, except for maybe 2 of them, who the guy was telling them to win.
The ones that got first.
I had 2 pros that won contests that I never could understand how the hell they won them. But they won them. So anyway, but there's a guy, Ray Allen, who has all the footage from back in the day. And everybody's waiting for that footage to get released. So then you can go back and watch it all and be like, okay, now we can watch and see who really won that contest.
Absolutely.
But I really did. Cool. I heard something this last week when I was at the Elgato that Ray Allen, he has been able to pay a bill, and he lost 3 of his storage units. And somebody has that footage now, But
like
the
buy your storage unit kind of thing, and like
yeah,
get all
somebody
these
goes in there and they buy it,
2,500
and they got
skateboard
it.
decks that are logged in there somehow.
That's exactly it.
Oh,
I know a bunch of people who've lost their storage units and lost all their skate memorabilia, which is thousands of dollars worth of stuff, from back in the day.
I could only imagine.
But even Ray, smart as he is, he encrypted all the footage. Then they went through some of it. It was all like all the watermarks through it, so you can't see it.
Oh wow!
Or the ones that they don't, he put his name on it. So you can't use that footage until he passes away and everything happens. So it's just too bad because, I know Tony Hawk, I know Tony Mag, I know like 5 different people have tried to buy the footage. They've given him money and he will not, even though he's like, oh, you can have, for that amount of money, you can have the watermark stuff. So you can see it, but it's got it's a nightmare.
Oh man,
but
so people get picky with their footage for sure.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, that's
40 years old.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
40. I mean, it's going on even more than that now. So anyway,
yeah, so that's a while ago.
Yeah. So what about Europe? What are we doing in Europe, and how many? What I know you traveled everywhere. So
Europe. I mean, like the first time I started, I guess, traveling a lot was when Markovich started Prime, and we for World Industries. Mark Oblo took me to Europe first time, probably like 93, maybe 94, like the first Moonster competition.
Well, the first one you went to.
The first one that I went to. They'd had him for years before that, but first one I ever went to. First time traveling to Europe. I traveled through when I rode for Prime a lot. When I rode for when I got on DC, which was another big sponsor from Prime, man, that went all over the place for them, back to Japan, Australia. We went all over the place, all through Europe, the super tours that we did, but the countless trips with those guys was super awesome. And
who'd you like to travel with? Who were the guys that you had good times with, whereas opposed to?
I mean, I always had fun. I mean, we did year was this, maybe 95 was the first time I did a U.S. tour. Started in L.A. You went to a bunch of different places up to, maybe was it Chicago?
Yeah.
Down, up Chicago, over to New York. And then I think at one point, we were somewhere in, it was a dwindle tour. Me, Clyde, Kareem, Joey, some of the Plan B guys, Jeremy, Chinita, all those guys. I think Neil might have been on that one. Day One, Enrique, Rodney, Hensley.
How many tour buses did you?
I think we had two
vans,
2 monster those 15 passengers. Dimitri shot photos. So we toured everywhere, and I think at one point it's I think it was about a month, but you're supposed to only go for 2 weeks, and these guys fly in, you guys fly out. And I think it was okay, at one point it's okay, you guys are going to go up north, the rest of the crew goes down. And I was like, where are you guys going to go? And we're going to finish in Florida. And I was like, I'm staying. Of course I'm going to stay. So I think me, Day One, Enrique, we all were oh, can we just stay on the tour? So it was a little over a month, maybe a month and a half of everywhere, all the way down. We did demos in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, eventually got to Florida. Boom, 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 all the way down. I think probably did a demo at skate park of Tampa. That was my first long tour trip. That was really fun. That was a good one. There was tons of guys on that one. Oh man,
sounds like good life learning experiences.
Fun, yeah. Man. I mean, just hotel, drive, sleep, skate. Hotel, drive, sleep, skate. Gas station. Skate at the gas station because you're bored. That was really fun though. Being on a tour with Day One, Enrique. I think Chinita was on that one. Jeremy ended up going on that one. I think I broke my wrist when I got into Florida doing something, so I'd like tape my wrist up. Like, oh, it was fun trip though. Ended up in Miami. I think the last stop was Miami, and then we ended up flying back to LA from that point.
Who was like the team manager? Did Rodney pretty much take that?
Oblo.
Oh, Oblo was on.
Oblo was, because he was like one of the owners of Prime or whatever. So he dealt with one group. I think Hensley dealt with another group.
Wow.
Hensley flew home because I think he was over it.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm out. And I think that's when Rodney flew in.
Oh, okay.
And then Rodney toured us down to Florida. So Rodney took care of all of us. So I think it was like, Prime, Blind, Plan B. And when they were all still in one house. That was before before Plan B had left.
Okay. Well, that's when I was working there at that time for Plan B. Time.
Yeah. And we went there. I think Rodney was one that was kind of like when I first met Rodney and got to know him and, built that relationship with him for a while and, led into him asking me to ride for different companies and stuff like that.
Okay.
That's cool. Rodney's a good dude. I like him.
You still talk to him?
I don't speak to too many people in skateboarding, honestly, but I haven't spoken to Rodney in a couple of passings. He started a company when, kind of detouring stories.
That's okay.
Rodney had already left Plan B. Rodney worked for Dwindle. Yeah. Rodney was doing whatever. I still rode for Prime. Rewind a little bit. I rode for Prime. We went to Vancouver. I think I placed like maybe top 10 in Vancouver. There was an X Games in Florida 2 days later. So Rodney flew me from Vancouver to Florida. I won. I got first. Chinita was there.
Okay.
There was a handful of us. That was my first, big contest that I had won.
Huge.
I won that X Games, or I think they were called X Trials.
Yeah.
They weren't even there was you had to lead up to the big one.
Right.
I won that, and I think I flew home, and he was like, "Hey, dude, Prime is done. We're gonna get rid of that." And I was like, "Oh man, at that point, I remember thinking oh my God, what's going on? Where's everybody gonna go?" Because we were all such good friends that rode for Prime.
Yeah.
And he was like, "I'm gonna start a new company called the A Team."
Okay.
And I was like, "Oh, cool, right on." He's like, "I want you to ride for it." I'm like, "What's everybody else doing?" Because Maxwell, Lambert, all those guys, Markovich had already quit Prime at that point, and they were like, "Oh, they're going their own ways, but we want to keep you." And I was like, "Okay, right on." Then at that point, I just wanted to continue with doing what I was doing as far as board company. World had the best boards, and it was me, Chet Thomas, Gershon Mosley. Who else? Me, Chet, Gershon, Mark Johnson.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I still have a shirt with my name on it. Actually in my garage.
Do you?
I do, actually.
That's awesome.
So they made a run of shirts, and when I flew home from Florida, he was like, "Hey, I need you to come up to LA. We're doing some stuff." So I drove up there, and they here, check it out. Here's our logo, and it was the A Team symbol, and all of our names were around it.
Okay.
And I was like, "Oh, right on, cool, no way, awesome, sweet, ride forward." I remember he gave me a big pay raise from winning the competition and about to ride for that. He gave me a huge pay raise, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is the greatest!" Super, super awesome. I drove back to San Diego, and within that weekend,
oh shit,
it hadn't been 2 days.
Yeah.
For sure 2 days. I think I was down there, and Danny I think it was Danny first. Danny called me and was like, "Hey dude, what are you doing?" I was like, "What do you mean? What am I doing?" I've been friends with Danny for a few years before that. We've known each other, and me and Alfonso and Danny, we all hung out a lot just being in San Diego. But he was like, hey, what are you doing? Like Prime's done. I was like, well, actually,
Yeah.
This is happening.
Starting an A-team.
Rodney's doing a company called A-Team. And he's like, no. He's like, you're going to ride for Plan B. And I was like, excuse me? Like, thinking at the time, like, wait, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, it was one of those things, like, when he said that, it was, I kind of got goosebumps a little bit thinking about it. It was one of those things, like, I mean, I'd looked up to him since not even knowing him when I was little, like Hocus Pocus, H Street, Shackle Me Not, all that stuff, knowing who he was, even like meeting him. So like when he asked me, I was like, it was like a no-brainer. I didn't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
He's like, I already talked to Colin, Duffy's good. I was like thinking, like, where's this going? Like, oh my God. So within like a 2-day span, flying to Florida, winning, driving to LA, being on the A-Team, driving back to San Diego, Danny calling me, getting on Plan B, I was like thinking, oh my God, this is like, what's going on? Mm-hmm. So I had to call Rodney, like, hey dude, like, I know you just made those shirts, but he's like, what's up? And I was like, I'm gonna ride for Plan B. And he was like, don't do it. Like, he was so bummed. Like, like, what are you, like, don't do it. Like, he immediately went into like defense mechanism. Like, just like, oh no, it's bad. Like, they're not doing good. Like, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, it's Danny Way. Like, it's Danny and Colin. Like, I was just like, sorry, And then that led into, riding for Plan B. Like, oh man, that's like a fast couple of days, pretty quick.
Yeah, man. Cool, though. Like, that's tough. That had to be tough, man. Because you're talking to, it was the greatest skateboarder in the world, Rodney Mullen. Okay. And then you have Danny Way calling you.
Hands down, one of the greatest athletes, skateboarders to ever be on this earth, for sure.
Exactly. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I never knew how you got on Plan B. Because at that time, I was gone from Plan B.
That's when, and at that time, working for
Duff's at that time.
So at that time, Duff's was still in Carlsbad.
Right.
Plan B was in Carlsbad.
Yeah.
Like a little, somewhere off Palomar Airport Road, had a small area. I think Tommy was doing some stuff with them, like with XYZ, and Danny had his whole things. Yeah. But like I had known Danny before that because riding for XYZ Skate Shop.
Yeah.
So, like just the wheels just went in that direction.
Yeah, man, that's a tough one, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine. I don't know if I could call Rodney up and say, Rodney, I quit, man.
Well, even not weird, but like getting off the phone and thinking, crap, like, I think Maxwell might have been sitting next to me, or my friend Dennis, and he's like, dude, what was that? I'm like, that was Danny Way. I was like, dude, like, he just asked me to ride for Plan B, and they were like, what? Because I'd already told them that I was going to ride for the A-Team, and it was like, wait, what? Like, it was just, it was at that time, like when guys were jumping, it was weird, and I think, I think at that time, I think maybe Bertino had just not.
Just left Plan B?
I think he had just, I don't know if left Plan B or whatever he was doing in life. Like but it was like, Duffy, Chanita, Jeremy.
Yeah, man. I mean,
there was a handful of guys, Danny, Colin.
Yeah.
That was right when Secondhand Smoke came out.
Okay.
Like I got on like a few days before the premiere.
Okay, so Mike was still around at that point.
No.
Mike was already gone, so then
because
that'd be like 96-ish, 97.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
because Mike was...
I don't remember what year Mike
95.
passed away, but... because I rode for Prime through 95 on that tour was 95, because I remember we had shirts we got made maybe like 96, 97.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but riding for Plan B was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
And then I rode for DC, so it just made sense, you know. Getting on Plan B, riding for DC, it's like oh man, it was great at that time. Like it was awesome.
Well, you were riding for DC at that time, or
I rode for DC when I rode for Prime. I was getting flowed from DC.
okay,
Ken Block was giving me shoes, and I rode for Prime. We went to Australia on a trip for DC. I still rode for Prime at the time.
Okay.
Me, Rick Howard, Moses, Huff, Carol, Colin.
Wow.
That's kind of like when I started really getting to know Colin at the time. We had hung out a lot on that trip and stuff. We like always were hanging out, like skating together and whatnot. And I still rode for Prime. And then coming back from that trip at some point through those like that time frame of getting on Plan B at that time. But yeah, I was still on Prime when I was getting flowed from DC. And then they had the first DC ad, not the picture that you had.
Right.
There was one before that.
Okay.
Me, Moses, Carl Shipman, and Huff were the first 4 guys that didn't have a pro shoe that rode for DC that had a pro shoe. Because it was Gabriel, Colin, Danny, Deerdick.
Yeah.
They had shoes.
Right.
So that was the first 4. And then they expanded the team at some point and put 4 guys on that didn't have shoes.
Right.
So that was the 8-man roster. Yeah.
Heavy hitters, man, all the way across.
Oh man.
That
brings back memories.
Yeah, man. Well, that's good, man. I mean, I know you've been out of the industry for a minute.
Handful.
Yeah.
For sure. Definitely.
And that's kind of one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you back in, you know, just to talk about this, because you're part of the history of it. You know, you got a lot of DC history, Plan B history, World Industries history. You know, you did all
that was like
stuff,
95 to like maybe 98-ish.
Yeah.
Something like that. Or 95 to 98. Probably that 3-year span of Prime, DC, Plan B, shuffling.
Okay. Yeah. I still can't believe you had to tell Rodney Mullen you were going to go ride for Plan B.
He was not
After
happy.
he left.
He was not happy.
You know?
And I was good friends with all those guys, like Gershon. I was good friends with him. Like I would go to, we would do demos in Reno for my buddy Eric that owns the company that would fly us up there. So I'd known Gershon forever.
Yeah.
I'd known Chet.
Yeah.
You know,
of course.
Yeah, I'd known all those guys. Mark Johnson, I didn't know that well because he lived in Northern California, but just all those guys. So like, you know, quitting, not riding for those guys, like I was like, but I'd known Rodney for a long time,
Right.
so that was
that's the whole thing right there.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was not pleased.
I'm sorry, man. I'm just like, couldn't even imagine.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I have no idea where I'm at on my notes, but but 3. I just got P3. Okay, man. Well, hit us up. Let's go through a couple pictures here really quick.
Okay.
If you don't mind. And
cool, man. For sure.
Kind of tell us. These things were all out of like Trans World and
so
magazines back in the day. I don't know. I think I have some Big Brother clips.
So that one is Bay Park.
Okay.
I still rode for Prime at that time, but I was on DC because I don't think you can see the shoe, but that shoe. I remember I loved it because it was a big logo shoe.
Yeah.
If you shot photos in it, it was Rudy's first shoe.
Okay.
Rudy Johnson's first shoe.
Right.
His shoe had a huge DC logo on the side. So I used to always try to wear that shoe, or I used to always try to steal the samples that they had to try to get things
size
up.
9?
I was, of course. Yeah. But Grant shot that. Grant shot that.
Okay.
There's another guy that shot that same photo from a back angle. I can't remember the guy's name, but
Tom Jones?
I don't know. But there was a split. I remember someone posted it on some social media. The split. There was that one, and then the back angle of it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool looking.
Yeah.
His was black and white. He shot it from way behind on the other side of the school. But yeah, I still rode for DC. That was I think the video clip of that was and one of the Transworld videos that I had a bunch of footage in.
Yeah.
That was like the last little segment that I had, kickflipping over the rail.
That's rad. Okay, so this was one of the covers you had. Did you have Thrasher cover? You had a Thrasher cover too, right? No.
The only there was a European magazine called Limited.
Okay.
I think
Limited.
You guys have a photo of that.
You have the title page.
Yeah.
It's social media.
No.
No, it was like
Limited, I think. Like, was it Canada or was that Sweden? I can't remember. I remember
It
it.
was somewhere in Europe.
Yeah, okay.
Somewhere in Europe.
Okay.
There was,
Yeah,
there was a photo shot at the tracker place, and they used it. They put it was like I think it was a front set flip on the mini ramp.
Okay.
They used that as the cover, and then I had to cover Big Brother one year. But that was the only. I never had a Thrasher cover. I never had a Transworld cover. Never had them.
Yeah.
I was like.
Did you hear about
like
getting pulled?
Yeah, I always wanted, like, there was a handful of things I was like, oh man, maybe that would be a cover. And no, it's like a 2-page spread or something like that. Yeah.
Well, you certainly had a lot of coverage. That's for darn sure.
Yeah, this one, my friend owned a car magazine. I was super into cars forever. Like, I always been into cars. Like, so he was like, oh, let's shoot your car. Like, what do you want to do? I was like, there's a spot in Mira Mesa, or Miramar. That's like by it's the pyramid. So I was like, oh, I could park my car and ollie over it. And
that is at the pyramid.
Yeah, that's right by the Miramar Air Base. Yeah. So I was like, oh, I could just ollie over it. I rode for City Stars at the time, so that was after. Well,
that was after Plan B.
Yes, Plan B went out of business.
Okay.
Or Danny and Colin chose to stop doing it.
Right.
Danny rode for, I think, Alien. Colin got on. Colin.
They both went on Alien, actually.
At some point, but Colin got on Girl.
Okay.
Colin rode for Girl. Danny got on Alien.
That's when Alien was Alien.
I think Rodney was still. At World. Plan B went out of business. And my friend Vince Krause still worked for World, and I was speaking to him at the time.
Vince is their sales manager, right?
Yeah. So I was like, dude, I was like, man, I don't know what to do. He's like, hold on a minute. 2 seconds later, my phone rings, and it was Kareem. He's like, come up to LA. And I was like, oh my God, no way. Went up to LA, and Kareem put me on. He's like, what do you want? And I'm like, what do you mean what I want?
I couldn't find Kareem.
That happened again. Kareem.
So what do you want?
Came down. Actually, I spoke to Kareem. I couldn't go to LA because X Games was in San Diego. The first year X Games was in San Diego. It was 98.
Yeah, probably 99, 97.
97?
First year, 98, when they had Oceanside on the street. Second year, they had that none of this.
So those blending years, Plan B went out. I got on well, it wasn't even City Stars at the time. It was All City.
All City, yeah.
It was All City. It was before that. Got on that.
Back to Rodney.
Back to Rod. Well, because I was like, Kareem was still. Wait, no, was Kareem still there? Kareem was still there.
Yeah.
And then not long after, Kareem's like, dude, we're out. So I was like, oh man, I had to say bye to Rodney again, because he still worked at Dwindle, and then Kareem took City or All City and left.
I don't know. Where did he end up going? Like when
he started, he just did his own distribution.
He did his own thing.
Yeah, just took everything away from him.
Interesting. All right.
Yeah, that one. That's what's the name of that school? It's in Escondido.
Bear Valley?
It's not that far from here, actually.
Bear Valley? Oh, no, that's San Pasqual.
No.
No?
It's down the street from San Pasqual.
Okay, well then that's Orange Glen. So 3 right there.
Maybe? What's the other one?
Orange Glen.
Escondido High is over by us.
It's not Escondido High. I can't remember. But was my last trick in the City Stars video.
Is that it? Yeah.
Wait, is that last trick? Yeah, frontside board slide. The gap to frontside board slide. The stuff that's been done to date, stupid. It's insane. I mean, dude, that was just the frontside. Like, I mean, I know at the time it was, you know, it was
Gnarly.
huge,
Super
you
gnarly.
know, but I mean, nowadays, that's probably like
Yeah.
not even a thought.
Yeah.
You know, people don't even do that.
Well, no, people would like double kick flip into
Yeah.
it.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
Switch.
Yeah, yeah. So that's.
I know, but you can't count that, man. You got
Yeah, of course. No,
at the timing. You know.
I absolutely. When I see some of that
Everybody
stuff,
pushes
like,
everybody.
absolutely,
Yeah.
for sure.
Progression where it is.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you went for big stuff back in the day, man. Yeah, you did. You jumped down some big stairs, bigger than a lot of people.
I just remember thinking, like,
know?
it was just so much fun to go fast.
Yeah.
Like, growing up skating transition, like, you went fast. Like, some of the, you know, the bowls at Kona, like, they're huge.
Yeah.
So it's just,
Had to
you're just going, you know? So it was just always fun to go fast and jump down stuff.
Yeah.
That's school in Lucadia. That's right. What's the new park out there? Pods?
Yeah. Foods Park.
Yeah, that's on the other side.
Okay. Yeah, it's over there. By Encinitas.
San Diego.
Oh, San Diego. Okay.
That rail, well, we skated that all the time.
Was that right?
At that time,
That's off of Torrey Pines.
It's the administration office.
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
How do you skate
yeah,
that?
we used to skate there all the time. So my
Summertime.
Haley,
Okay.
his friend, was it Dom? His friend owned Pervert from
Okay.
Miami. So
Yeah.
he was like, yo, dude, I heard Kane was from Florida. He's like, yo, dude, I'll hook him up with some stuff. Like, will you shoot a photo for me? Like, does he want to ride for him? I was like, for sure. Like, awesome. So yeah, that shot.
Wait,
Like, that was just that little, you know, Florida connection. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
I don't get it.
Tampa. What year is that?
Very sweaty.
Tampa?
I don't know, man.
I
But
don't
it's
even remember
Florida.
what year that
Tampa,
was.
so you know it's probably humid.
Tampa Pro. Every time Tampa came around, it was like that was like the big
Yeah.
thing. Like,
I mean, that's
I had to go to Tampa Pro.
It was always in January, and
Yeah.
it didn't get humid down there. It gets really cold down there too, though.
Yeah, Tampa Pro was awesome.
Yeah.
Brian Schaefer.
All of them are killer. Yeah,
Yeah,
those guys have done such an incredible job.
yeah.
So,
So get back in your work
Anyway.
next year. Ron Allen was 59.
I think he was 58, 59, 59. Okay.
Anything in the top.
Not that I don't think that I can't skateboard anymore, but it's painful to fall. You know, like,
Your heels feel it now. You know, those
man, like it's, you know, like, I mean, back then you just bounce off the ground, but like, I mean, I had a handful of skateboarding related injuries that just, you know, they stick with you.
Talk to
you
me.
know, stick with you.
What broken wrist? We got a broken wrist.
Oh, I mean, I've broken,
That's the lowdown.
Or do you want to tell anybody in case?
no, I could care less. I've broken this wrist probably 5 or 6 times at
Okay.
least, to where, you know, like you fall, hit it,
Yeah.
and I just know like it's broke.
Yeah.
You know, really bad one when I was younger. I fell watching Danny. What was it? Was it
Blame Danny.
one of the 8th Street videos?
Yeah.
Shackle Me Not or something, was when they were rolling into ramps and they were doing like 270s and coming down backwards. And I was like, oh, I got to do that. There was a quarter pipe on my street. I tried it and I was skating it by myself and I fell backwards to like,
Okay.
had landed a couple, like, oh, it's easy. I can keep doing it. Misjudged it, fell, put my hand down and landed on a ledge like that.
Oh,
my
man.
arm kept going.
Oh, jeez.
Oh,
So that was the initial first break of that one. But
ankles?
broke it countless times. Never like broke my ankle, but rolled my
Yeah,
ankles
multiple times.
thousands of
Yeah.
times. Like where, you know, if I catch it off concrete, I'll roll my ankle
Yeah.
bad.
Any head injuries? Did you ever slam your?
I mean, a couple of concussions, but nothing bad where like, you know, hit my head, maybe some stitches. But in Vancouver one year, maybe,
At the contest?
yeah.
Okay.
It was it was the year that they had the big they had a big box and they had a big rail going off the box, but you went up on the box and you were only on the box for like a split second. It was my version of a short run up. Nowadays, probably not that. It was probably a lot longer than I thought. But you get up on the box and immediately you got to jump, gap out, and then land on the rail. And I remember the rail was big. So I'd done a couple of like lip slide, 50, frontside board, like go-to tricks at the time that I knew I could do on anything that I could roll up to. I remember thinking like it was the best trick contest. I'm like, oh dude, I got a frontside blunt slide it. And I could do that on a lot of most anything. And got on it a couple times, slid it, and I was like, oh, I got it. Misjudged it, got on it, and got my heel on it. So when my heel hit, I flew backwards. And I was like, oh God, I'm gonna hit my head. Like, don't hit your head, So I tensed up. So when I landed on my tailbone, my back did that. And I fractured, not like broken, but like I had hairline fractures in like my lower 3 vertebrae. That took me out. That was
5, 6, 7.
That was bad. Yeah. We drove up that year in a van, and I remember driving home. My buddy Ryan Denman was like, dude, are you okay? Like, we got to drive home. And I'm like, just let me lay on the floor of the van. Like, I just need to lay here. So drove all the way home. I could barely move. And I felt like I was paralyzed for like a good month. Could barely walk. That was a bad one. Eventually got over it, but that was not good.
It heals.
Exactly. It heals. Yeah. It heals somehow, heals somehow. Shoulder problems, like always would, fall, hit my shoulder. So body would get crooked.
Well, hey, you want to try some Claire?
I don't know if you got enough of that for me. I probably got. I might need this on an endless supply.
So if you're hurting, this stuff will help. That's all I can say.
So I can barely see, and there's a guy on here, Jamie Foy.
Yeah,
he's from Florida.
That's right. He's a Florida boy.
That dude.
Wait, say it. Florida. How'd that go? From Florida. You and Haley and all those guys used to do that.
Tommy Cadell used to tease me how I said Florida.
Yeah.
I don't think my accent comes out as much as it used to, but it used to come out pretty thick.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Yeah. Florida. They'd come out little twang in there. For sure.
Where are you guys from?
Yeah.
You can name some of the guys from Florida, man. Like.
Yeah, that dude. I've seen that guy. I've seen a bunch of his footage. Yeah. That he's legit.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, man. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, he
uses that all the time.
Yeah.
He needs it. I've seen some of the faults he does. I'm like, yeah, he's good.
He's a poster boy.
He's amazing.
You see what we're doing? We're trying to get you back on a board.
Yeah.
We got the heel all now because we at our age understand how bad it hurts.
Yeah. I have a board. It just sits there.
Well, if it's from back in the day, it's probably worth a good $500 now.
No, it's what the board that I have that I have put together is one of Ryan Sheckler's Plan B boards.
Okay,
that's how old it is. It's because he doesn't write for Plan B anymore.
He has his own company now. It's like
Sandlot.
Sandlot?
Yeah.
Yeah, soon to be a dad too.
But yeah, my buddy Eric, he sent me some trucks, wheels, bolts, bearings, all that stuff, grip tape, and I had my buddy Eric used to work for Plan B. When it came back, after it had already been done, he worked for it when it came back into play. He was like the team manager.
Eric
Lanto.
Okay, I don't.
I've known him for.
What I found.
Yeah,
that happens a lot.
Voices in your head here,
totally.
Man.
Yeah, Eric. Me and him lived with each other for a handful of years, and so he ended up working for Plan B later down the road, and so he sent me a bunch of boards like 10 years ago.
Yeah,
I was like, "Oh, dude," it's like, "Yeah, can you send me a board? I'm gonna roll around a little bit." Yeah. So I was like, "Yeah." So like, I have a Sheckler board that I put together.
I have a couple Sheckler boards signed from Plan B days.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
I had a great conversation with him the other day.
Sheckler?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Nice.
I'm so happy to see how well he's doing now.
Yeah,
You know,
that's awesome.
He's a completely different guy from when he was riding the beginning of Plan B days, on the rebirth of Plan B. Because you had the original Plan B, then you had the second go around of Plan B,
Yeah,
and then I think it was the third round of Plan B, and that's when Scheckler came on. I think it was the third. Yeah, the third round.
I think so. Yeah, I think right around I think when Plan B was re-emerging is when I was quitting.
Yeah.
Or not skating at all.
Right. Yeah.
Not even at all.
I mean, just the story into your next
2000s.
career is an interesting thing too. When you told me, I was like, oh my gosh, man.
Yeah.
So anyway, but yeah, we've had did 6, 7, 8 video parts. I mean, that was a big thing back then. You know, it was get your video part done. You always had to get a video part done.
Yeah.
And you had to have one for your shoe sponsor, you had to have one for your board sponsor. There was truck sponsors, wheel sponsors, grip tape. I mean, clothing. Everybody had to have a little piece of you at that time.
Yeah.
But
we were just always filming. Like my buddy Lee DuPont was always filming us. He filmed all the Prime videos.
Yeah.
Filmed all the Transworld stuff. So he constantly had footage of us. So it was easy to oh, you want some tricks?
Well, didn't Lee work for Transworld?
Probably.
Yeah, I think he did.
He filmed for us for Prime.
Okay.
Forever. And then
did Oblo film a lot?
Mark filmed a lot. Yeah, Mark filmed a lot.
Yeah.
I want to think that even when I wrote for Plan B, I think I was like, oh dude, I need you to film me, go film some stuff. I was never in any of the Plan B videos. We didn't. Well, maybe a promo for 411. Here's our stuff. But then ended up I think that was the only thing.
Yeah, I forgot about 411. That was another one.
There was a 411 thing.
A bunch of parts on too. Yeah, there's other than a couple of your boards too.
So those are all. Well, those are all City Star boards. Yeah. So see, car stuff.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Car stuff.
I remember.
Yeah.
I remember you and your cars, man.
Yeah. That's
putting all your money into them and be broke.
Absolutely. Prime board.
Was that McKee work? No.
It was either McKee or
one of the leopards reminds me of this guy.
What's the other guy's name? I was just talking about him. He drew his little Mark McKee and some other guy.
Yeah, I know. I can't think of it. I'll think of it though. Yeah.
Plan B board. That was the year that we did something. Colin did the Canucks logo.
Yeah.
And I did the Marlins logo because they just won the World Series.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, Florida. had to get my Florida. The Marlins won the World Series that year.
Baseball season.
Yeah.
I think that's.
I did the logo. I did that. I was like, oh, dude, you gotta do that one.
You've always had the Florida pride, man.
Somewhere.
Always.
Somewhere for sure.
Always, man.
Tech deck.
Yeah, that's right. I wanted to bring that up.
I think I had some. There was a handful of things when City Stars had their run of things. There was a baseball series or a basketball series that Kareem did, and we did a bunch of the tech deck stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Did you get paid well from that?
Probably not. I don't think
No, really?
I don't think I've ever seen no sort of endorsement from Tech Deck.
Okay, interesting.
I might have to
where that
call. Is it Rod James?
Yeah.
Does he do Tech Deck?
Yeah. No, Steve.
One of the brothers.
Yeah, Steve.
I can't do where's my floor.
Yeah. You know what he's gonna say? I sent it all to Kareem. I sent the City Stars or whoever.
Kareem. Oh my God. Kareem took such good care of me through thick and thin. When I lost my temper and lost everything.
What? You lost your temper?
And quit DC on the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
Kareem's like, don't worry about it. Boom, action.
Yeah.
Design a shoot. Go right ahead. Like so.
And that's what this is.
That was my.
Yeah, that same picture twice.
Yeah.
But those are different shots.
Yeah. Atiba shot that.
Okay.
Atiba shot that. That was my first pro shoot that Kareem did.
I remember your temper.
The name I called it the Jag.
Yeah.
Which was my mom's initials.
Oh right.
Jacqueline Ann Gale.
Okay.
So is it Jag the code for airplanes for the Jacksonville Airport? Code?
Maybe.
Jag for the Jaguars.
Yeah. But I named my shoe after my mom's initials.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Your mom was awesome.
Yeah, so.
I couldn't believe what she let you get away with. Oh my gosh, no, man, it's way deeper than that. I'm not mentioning anything,
but that's so this photo. So remember I was talking about there was the first talking about quitting.
Yeah.
This was the first time. Well, so there was Danny, Colin, Rudy, Deerdick, me, Moses, Shipman, Huff.
Yeah.
So those were the four. And then after that, they put on some other guys. Or not, Scott. Yeah. They put on Carol, Howard, Josh.
Yeah.
So they started putting on other guys. So that was the second team photo that we shot for DC.
Well, just to be associated with those guys is pretty.
Yeah, that's an alright group of dudes, I guess.
Yeah, man.
Right?
That's you're rolling with the right people right there.
I tried to hold my own.
Yeah.
So
is Costin in that photo? Because I think that's the only one I don't see.
No,
I think that's because he was with.
I think he
was he with Dean? Yeah, no, Mackay at that time, maybe.
Yeah, that was where Carol and Howard eventually were about to go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, but pretty stellar, man.
Yeah.
Pretty stellar.
That's the color logo.
Yeah.
That was the company I quit. had to call you for. Quit 777 to ride for color because I met Markovich on a trip out here and
he said, "You're coming."
And
we're getting you.
Markovich is from Florida.
I know, man. I know.
So I lived with Markovich for first couple of years I moved to California. So that was
that's where
that was like 93 something. Yeah. 94.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to bring up and show like all the different video footage that you had to
so that was the only 411 covered. That's a double kink rail off of the 5 freeway, maybe like Lake Forest, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Ortiz shot that photo.
Who did?
Chris Ortiz.
Oh, Ortiz did. Yeah.
In the video, so Lee's filming from the side.
Yeah.
It was an opener in the video.
Yeah.
You can see when I slid it down through the kink, came off the curb. Chris was shooting photos, and you can see him like a little, like he was all fired up.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Chris is amazing, man.
That always felt easier. Like people, I mean, I've grinded some double kink rails, but it always felt easier to board slide everything. Like board slides were easier.
Yeah.
Board slid that rail.
The kids know what this is.
Jim's Rag Jam?
Yeah, VHS tape.
Yeah, no one knows what
VHS
tape is. None of the young kids would know it.
Jim Thiebaud had a mini ramp in a warehouse in Oakland.
Yeah.
So me, Ablo, and Day One drove up to go to that competition because Day One rode mini ramps and I was a big mini ramp dude.
Yeah.
Building a big vert ramp.
Mm-hmm. That's was Max's vert ramp probably went there. Yeah. So that was like a mini ramp competition. Drove up to.
That's fun.
Huh. I don't even know what footage would be on that tape of me.
Yeah.
If I got some.
Well, I know it's all on there.
Yeah.
Your names are all over it. So.
Best of 411. So that probably has a lot of the. I
just left because I saw Volume 3.
Who knows what volumes that thing went up to, but yeah.
It went for years, man. When Element was.
I probably have footage in that one, but Yeah.
Yeah,
Chris Ortiz just always, he was friends with Oblos, so we would go up and stay at Oblos.
Yeah.
Just like he would always take us around, so he always shot photos, filmed.
A whole bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then these dudes. So it's.
I'm surprised you weren't on that Big Brother team, man.
I mean, I knew all those guys. I knew.
Oh, yeah.
I knew Tremaine.
Yeah.
I knew Cossack. All those guys. Like they shot photos of me. Dimitri.
Yeah.
So those guys, all those guys. Tremaine actually, when DC went to Europe and did the big tours, so that's how I got the cover of Big Brother.
Yeah.
Those guys, like they documented the whole thing.
All the
But yeah, I mean, like all these guys, like that's like where Steve-O was like born, you know. So it's that one. Logic.
Yeah.
My buddy Heath. Heath came out here from the East Coast and tried to start his own video production. It was called Logic. I had a part in Logic. Probably that was the first issue.
Yeah.
About maybe 3 to 4 issues later.
Yeah.
I had a part in it.
Well, that's 98 right there. So.
Yeah, 99
anyway,
maybe.
I think I have everything up until like 2001 on you.
2001.
Yeah, I think there's another one coming up here that might be as deep as that.
2000.
Yeah, there's
Tampa.
2000. So you're still
2000.
riding Tampa contest, doing stuff there.
Yeah, I don't remember what was the last year I skated in Tampa, but yeah, 2000. That might have been the year I got third, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
Sure. I'd have to look back at the results. Yeah.
You have that up on your room, right?
Totally. Sure. City Stars. That was so All City changed to it was Menace, All City.
Yeah.
City Stars.
Yeah.
City Stars. That was our video. That was when.
That's when you started wearing big chains too, right?
A little bit, a couple of, some
I remember
white gold or whatever.
Big chain.
Little
I was
bit.
like, what happened?
Yeah.
What
So
happened,
that was-
boy chain?
That was the logo of the video. Like Kareem had got those made for all of us on the
Oh,
team.
really?
Yeah,
Okay.
he had made those for the team.
Yeah, Cream.
You still have it?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I still have mine. Yeah, a couple guys have sold theirs, but like I know some guys have got rid of theirs or lost it.
Just don't ever get rid of it.
No.
No, man, that's just too classic.
Yeah, same one.
So-
I think that might have been a different night. I think I shot a photo of it. I went back and done that a couple times. Like shot photos of it one night, filmed the filming the picture before. I had that backside clip or backside flip.
Do you remember who shot that?
That photo of Atiba.
Okay,
Atiba
man,
shot
that thing's beautiful. It's
Atiba
lit up,
shot,
right?
Atiba shot that one.
That's amazing how he lit it up.
Yeah.
Was that like a flash then that you used, or was that a strobe on it already, like a light that was already?
We had lit it up
Okay.
with generator lights because
Yeah.
it's pitch black.
Yeah. I know.
But then Atiba had, photo like flashes or whatever, yeah. But yeah, the video footage that I had was not the night of that photo. Yeah, I had already made it.
Okay, and this was.
That's going back that was before City Fest, so that's the Hideout, San Francisco. We were up there for, I think, one of the Back to the City contests when they still had it.
Yeah.
And
Did the city up in SF?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's Socrates Leo.
Oh, is that right?
That's
Okay, hiding down there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. So we went up there to. That was when I still worked for Prime. I was just on DC, and
Yeah.
no one had done Frontline Board. So I don't remember who shot that one. I think it was Bryce.
Yeah.
I think Bryce.
Yeah. You're looking out the window.
I would.
I think Bryce.
I would.
Yeah, this is a relation. There's Dave right there.
I would guess that.
I think Bryce shot that. That was right when I got. I think I was like might have been my first venture at.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we riding venture the whole time though, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had a venture. Carol put me on.
Okay. Greg.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Greg Carroll put me on.
That's
Tron's like very awesome. Is that my favorite truck? That was my favorite truck.
Just those tiny wheels.
Favorite trucks hands down forever.
Yeah. All right. Venture for life.
Venture 5.0s. Easy. So just send me a box of those.
This is
So that's the photo I was saying that I had I don't know if it's that exact picture.
Yeah.
That was the cover of a limited.
Okay.
So I wrote for Prime. I was getting Edmonds. Don Brown was sending me shoes.
Yeah. Okay.
That was before DC.
Oh, before DC.
That was before DC.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got them out. Yeah, you do look pretty good there.
At the Tracker warehouse across, it's like right next door to Transworld. That was, I want to think, after ASR trade show in San Diego, they always had a big skate jam. So we
Party on the ASR.
yeah. So we always went up there. I think I lived with Alfonso at the time. Me and Alfonso went up
You
there.
and Alfie?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, me and after living with Markovich for a while, like me and Alfonso got a place together. Yeah, me and Alfonso lived there. It was cool. I used to ride with him all the time.
Did Chris get married at that time, or is that why you guys?
I think so. Like, I think Chris was like, you know, we lived at his mom's house and he was gonna do something. So I was like, me and Alfonso got a place. So it was cool. That was in San Francisco. I went up to stay with my buddy Justin Williams. He was the team manager of Venture at the time. One of those like, let's go light something up. He had some 12-star hubba that was not fun to skate. He shot you right into the ground, run into a door afterwards.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, you can't.
Like a man with 2 feet.
Yeah, like a up a curb, hit the ledge real quick. It didn't grind or slide that good. As soon as you ran into a wall.
That's awesome.
Yeah, horrible spot, but I mean, the photo came out cool. I don't know who shot the photo. Maybe he'd probably kill me if it wasn't him. Lance Dawes, maybe.
Yeah, Lance.
Yeah, I don't know if he shot it though. I think not that long ago I said something like that on a social media.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, fool, that wasn't me. That was this guy, and I was like, oh, damn it, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll get caught. No doubt.
UCSD.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ledge is probably still there, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was like right when I wrote for DC. DC paid great photo incentives, so I was always like, I think Albo was always mad. Like, dude, why don't you wear Prime stuff? Like, DC pays way more than what you look.
What kind of money did DC pay for a full page? What were they ripping back then?
I want to think if a full page, like a photo that you could see a logo,
Right.
$250, $300.
Okay.
So like if I had, I think that interview I had like 5 or 6 photos. If you had a cover, it was like 1,500.
Yeah.
You know, so like.
Nice incentive.
Yeah, I mean at the
I mean, it's
time,
not bad.
at that time, like I made more on photo incentive from DC than I was making my paychecks for writing for them.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I mean, just
That's
like,
how they did.
because it was accumulated.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
accumulated, you know.
If it was 2
Yeah.
that, go 2 feet down, if they transferred it.
Man, I wouldn't even know how
I
to
bet it's
begin.
less.
But DC, the cool thing about DC is at the time, like, writing for them, hey, we need an ad. Okay, we're gonna pay you.
Yeah.
They would pay you to shoot a photo. So when they ran the ad, so like, let's say Transworld, Thrasher, Big Brother, you got paid each one
Yeah.
for them to run your ad.
Rad.
That was like the coolest thing.
Yeah.
Checks.
Yeah.
Kinda, yeah. So
Yeah.
anytime that their ad got ran at a magazine in Japan,
Yeah.
like, here's a check. Oh, what's that for? Oh, we ran the ad in Japan.
Yeah.
Like,
Rad. Well, it's good that they took care of it.
dude,
like
absolutely, absolutely.
that. What about
That's why
video
when I
parts?
lost my temper,
What about-
it's a little weird.
What about video parts? Did you get paid for all the video parts?
I never, yeah. Like, I think when the Prime video came out, I had DC stuff everywhere. So, you know, it was like, oh, video part, you know, here's some money.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
Just like,
you know,
tons of footage. You know, like, oh, cool. Like,
Do you know what-
like one base.
do you know what the full page would cost the manufacturer to put in their ad?
No clue.
Well, I think it was black and white was $2,500. Transworld would charge like 25, 28. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if it was color,
Yeah.
well, yeah, depending on what company you are, if you were like,
you were in that where you were.
well, yeah, no, but I mean, like if it was like Pepsi Cola doing something, okay, those guys got charged like
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
if it's a skateboard company, it was like
sure.
$3,500.
Yeah.
You're bro.
Yeah.
They did specials for everything.
Photograph.
That might have been at a contest. Or wait, no. I can't see what the background looks like, but
It says attendance. It looks like it's a stage, the back of the stage.
that might have been
Did you do it?
the Vancouver contest that I said I think I placed top 10 or something, but it was the vert ramp,
Yeah.
and there was a gap, so it had a drop in to
Well,
a
that's
massive
kind of what it looks like.
to a massive roll in, and I remember I backside flip, and I went then faking into it. Yeah. I feel like I could backside flip
That
into
was
it.
like
Yeah.
the back that you would lean against on a mini ramp with attendance.
Yeah.
Just two by
Yeah. Yeah. Horseman, that's a water fountain. You usually skate the ledges, but you could ollie up, and at the time, I was like crooked guarding everything. I was like,
That's-
I'll crooked grind the inside and just nollie out off of it. So that's a crooked grind on the inside of the fountain. I just pressed off to go to the outside of it.
This is later though. This is like 90.
I still wrote for DC,
Okay, so
Yeah, 'cause I
97,
had it-
96,
maybe,
probably. Okay.
yeah, something like that.
I just remember like there was a time when I used to see you a lot. You were always wearing those kind of shorts. And,
Yeah, DC. I mean, they made everything.
yeah. It's like, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun.
All right. Well, getting in.
I don't know what year that is. Well, no, it's probably like 2008
Well, just to get in.
or 9,
This is
maybe.
this is when you first started.
I've been doing boxing and Muay Thai while I skated towards the end, let's say the end of my career.
Okay.
Doing that.
It kept me in great shape.
Yeah.
It kept me in great shape. So I was attempting to still skating contests like the the Mountain Dew did all those contests. So
Right.
I was trying to go to all those. I was still going. I think at the time, like I still rode for Nixon, RDS, a couple of other sponsors, and I was still skating, but I was starting to do that. And then eventually I was like, okay, what am I going to do? Figure out what to do after skateboarding. And at some point I was like, I can't do both. I was starting to work at the gym that I worked out at and was teaching a little bit, still skating. And then eventually like, I'll just stop skating. Like I never wanted to be the person skating and like, oh, you're just milking it. Like, you know, like so.
Yeah.
I'll just bow out gracefully and disappear.
Yeah. Well, you did a good job at that.
So I just stopped and kept working at the gym and training and just kind of led into what I do now. So
Okay. Well, what are you doing now?
I teach at a place called the Boxing Club, BXNG Club. It's in Solana Beach. We have 3 locations: downtown, Solana Beach, Kearney Mesa. About to have one in Rancho Bernardo, which is right down the street.
Right.
Yep. My friend, we both were teaching and fighting at the same time. My friend Artem Shroshkin, he owns the gym now.
Okay.
So we grew up. Well, I could say growing up, but like living together.
Was he from Florida?
No, he's from Russia.
Oh, he's from Russia.
Yeah, he's from Russia. But yeah, so like things happened in life, and he eventually took over, and he owns the gym. So I trained him through his entire fight career, through being amateur, turning professional. We traveled around the world fighting. Yeah, I've trained a handful of world champions.
Rad.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's kind of like a completely
amazing.
a completely different life, from skating, but a little bit of the same, like just like the competitiveness.
Yeah.
Like
And the brotherhood.
just
Yeah.
you know, so like a lot of cool things kind of transferred over into fighting, and you know, teaching people how to fight, and you know, traveling with them. The photo that was up there is my buddy Luis Bio. He was one of my champions. He was from Mexico. We traveled all over the place. Japan, China. We've gone everywhere.
Wow.
All through Mexico, you know, all over the U.S. Like so, Vegas, like a bunch of different places. So, like I've gotten to go a bunch of places not from skating, you know. So it's kind of cool.
Have you strictly stuck with teaching the Muay Thai?
Muay Thai.
Muay Thai. Sorry.
Muay.
Have you
Thai.
Muay Thai? Muay Thai.
There you go.
Okay. Have you done any other karate or jiu-jitsu
no.
or anything else?
I mean,
Wrestling.
I've trained a little bit of jiu-jitsu. Nothing. Like, you know, white belt stuff. You know.
Okay.
I taught Muay Thai at my friend Johnny's gym. That he was like, hey, can you teach some classes? I go, sure. At the time, but just mainly stuck with Muay Thai and boxing.
Okay.
You know, dabbled a little bit into MMA, but more like Muay Thai stuff, like not like anything like take you down and do all that kind of stuff. So, trained a handful of UFC guys, you know, here and there.
I was just wondering because I actually looked it up and saw some of the fights of it. I was like,
Why do you think I asked you how his shins feel?
yeah, no, I know, man.
Well, but I mean,
hammered to this shit.
My shins are hard from skateboarding. Like your board clacks you in the shins all the time. So
it's not the same game.
No, well, I mean, a little bit, but yeah.
Okay.
You know.
So I can say I've like kind of done it because I've got a couple shinners.
No, it's different.
I was gonna say, man.
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
But, yeah, I had some cool things like that, you know, that have, you know, interacted from, you know, I'll be at fights sometimes and someone's like staring at me and I'm like, oh, great. Why is this staring at me, you know? And I could come over and be like, what's up, man? Like, you're CAINE GAYLE. I'm like, yeah. He's like, dude, I used to watch you skating. I was like, oh
man,
so
that's rad.
It comes up every now and then.
Yeah.
And, you know, my good friend, you know, he's a multiple world champion in Muay Thai. Kevin Ross, you know, like we had gone on a couple of trips together. Like I had a fighter fighting on one of the shows, and you know him and Artem, like we're all really good friends. And you know, he used to come to San Diego and stay all the time. And you know, we get in a little conversations like, dude, like I used to watch you skate. I'm like, yeah. Like, no way. Like, you know, it always connects somewhere.
See there, man? Well, that's because you were good and respected. Everybody respected you. That was it, man, from back in the day.
I you know, sometimes, like, I still talk to my buddy Eric all the time, and like, we'll get into conversations about skating. And I think at one time I was like, you know, I hope I left some kind of a mark on skating, I guess, you know, at some point, you know, hopefully.
Well, you know you did. You know you did, because these guys are coming to you going, hey, you're CAINE GAYLE.
I guess so.
So every time that happens, man, you know, that every time that happens, that means you left an impression on somebody, which is what it's all about. Yeah. And then you have all the guys in Florida who, you know, you're just another name, you know, along with Rodney Mullen. You know what I mean? Alan Gelfand.
Man, there's, like, I mean, when I grew up, came out of Florida skating, like, there's so many more kids that skateboard. I mean, like you know, Jamie Foy. Like, there's so many. There's so many guys that are, you know, oh, I'm from Florida. I'm from, you know, from Tampa, Miami, St. Petersburg. Like, like,
why the hell are they all living in San Francisco, San Diego, LA now?
Florida's too damn hot. You can't stay there forever. Yeah, but
get out of the shower and have to want to take another one 5 minutes later.
I'm waiting for one of you guys to come up and name a skateboard company or Hurricane or something.
It's funny because, like, you know, I've gone to Thailand a handful of times, and it reminds me of Florida humidity. And so, like, when people out here are like, oh, it's hot today, I'm like, bro, this is not hot. This is not hot. Like, go to the East Coast. Go to Florida. You walk outside and you're like, why is my shirt wet? Like, because the humidity hits you immediately. Yeah, it's different.
And drinking water. Yeah, like, you don't realize how much water you're drinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, anyway, Cain, I just want to thank you for coming, man. That
Absolutely,
was
Dave.
absolutely awesome.
Absolutely.
Yes, I would say you made quite a mark in skateboarding as well.
I hope so.
As well as your new career. You've made a mark there as well.
I'll try to.
Yeah, man, that's amazing. And
Cool.
you know, the contests that you won over the days, you know, like all the traveling that you did. You know, I don't know. Did you ever make up any kind of street tricks or anything? I mean, pretty much
I don't
Rodney
think
stole
so.
the thunder on everything.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever made anything up. I know I might have done maybe a few tricks. Like, I don't know if I could say the first, but like,
Well, you like
in the beginning of like, I think there's a thing on social media where it's like, I think it's called Never Been Done.
Yeah.
NBD.
Yeah.
One time, like they had I think it was a trick from one of my first video parts, like going up just like a wedge ramp, like and doing going backwards and kick flipping. It's just like a fakie flip. I think it was like the person's like, oh, never been done before. Like it was the first documented like fakie kick flip going backwards up around. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm sure there's some rails that you did that nobody else has done.
Maybe.
You can say that.
Baltimore. Baltimore, drove up to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, went and board slide shove it for a checkout.
Yeah, that's right.
Got in that was in like downtown Baltimore or something. I was like, dude, I could slide that rail. You're like, no, you can't. I'm like, for sure, I can slide that rail. It was like 25 feet long. I was like, I just got to get up on top of it. Like, yeah, that's cool.
I forgot about that one. Yeah, that was gnarly.
I remember thinking like I could board slide it, but I was like, oh, dude, like Sal Barbier board slide shove it from like an old 8-shoot video. I was like, dude, I think I could do that. So I was just shove it at the end.
I forgot about that rail. Was huge.
Okay. Yeah, tall and long.
Yeah. And it was skinny.
That's why I was like, I just got to get up.
It was a skinny little
there was that little
man.
1 second window. I just need to get on it. Once I get on it, I know I'll make it to the end.
And that landing was
getting
shit.
on it.
That landing was
probably
was the roughest anything. And I think you're
gravel,
right. I think he was riding like 36 or 38 wheels.
For sure.
Wheels.
For sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They were like Barry Cat wheels.
Absolutely.
Remember that? Oh my gosh. I think I still have some of those at my house too. Like, I couldn't believe that wheels actually got that small.
Oh my gosh.
You know, kids back then will remember, but man, nowadays, nothing.
The generations have definitely gone.
That was crazy. Yeah. Of course, then again, you were wearing pants that were about.
Oh man.
He's like a 28 waist. He was wearing 44 pants.
Oh, for sure.
The crotch was all the way down to your knees.
Oh, absolutely.
It was a fun period. What was it? Jinko? It was the main.
I never had those. Those are huge, but yeah, almost.
We never had those. Yeah, we never had those.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Awesome.
Okay, well, hey everybody. Hope you guys enjoyed the show today. I certainly did. It was a walk down memory lane for sure. Anyway, and I want to thank Claire for their support of the show. Kind of a fun sponsor that we have. CAINE Gayle, who absolutely killed it back in the day, man.
Tried to.
Best companies ever back then, man. Sponsors were A plus, and have to tell Rodney Mullen.
I know.
Sorry,
you're the one that found me. You know, you're the one that found me and gave me a start for sure.
I was the first one to believe in you.
Every single thing that you ever did for me. Absolutely.
Yeah, awesome. Man. Those were absolutely great times, no question about it. So anyway, okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for watching, everybody. Appreciate it.